Hello, welcome to my channel. So we've been working on these templates from the Crafter's Companion Template Library. We have done number 1 and number 2, and we are going to number 3, and I already have those pulled out, and I'm a little worried. This looks like it could be a little bit more complicated. I see cut lines here, so I'm thinking these outside lines are cut lines, and the inside line are for mats. It looks a little bit more complicated, and I had wanted to do this next one in a more folded in by half. And now I'm kind of nervous about that because, like I said, it looks a little bit more complicated, but I think we're going to try it anyways. And this is what the card is supposed to look like. So it says, of course, to draw the template, draw the outer edge and all of the score line and cut line markings. And it has a little picture of what that's going to look like. And then cut out around the outer edge. Use a scoreboard and scoring tool to score along all the score lines. Erase the pencil lines. Use a craft knife and roller to cut the lines at the top and bottom of the card and around the top and bottom of the octagons. That is not an option for me because I am not good enough with a craft knife. At least I don't believe that I am. Fold and burnish all the score lines. Fold as alternate mountain and valley folds as indicated on the template. And then use the template to draw your chosen mats and cutouts. Add mats to the card to decorate. So, we are going to try, this is the halfway mark here. And we are going to try it. I don't know how well it's going to work. We will see how it goes. I am getting my silicone mat. It's basically a stamp mat. Mine is pretty messy, but it's got just, it's real thin. It's the Diamond Press one, but it gives it just enough cush, but it's not so soft. And especially when I put it on top of the glass mat, it's not so soft that it's going to rip my paper. So that's why I use this. Now my paper is only like an 80-pound or something like that. It's not that thick, and I believe if you have thicker paper, it will probably show better. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this paper in half. And we'll see if this is going to work. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And I will have to do another video, and I will show that video and show the results of this one where I try folding it in half and then doing it. The thing is, see, that's not going to work. Because this halfway point is not a fold line. It's not a score line. So I'm not taking it back now. I'm not going to do that. Because to do it in the halfway point, we need the halfway point to have a score line. Right? So we are going to do the whole thing. Now this part right here, if it looks like I'm leaving it out of the template, I am, because this is a matte layer, not part of the card. So I'm going to, where did my washi tape? I use a different washi tape. I'm not going to sit here all day looking for my washi tape that I so badly placed. So I'm just going to put some washi tape down. You know, they have craft knives that are finger, like a finger, and I wonder if that's easier. I wonder if that would be easier to use than a regular craft knife. I've never tried one, so I don't know. But I'm curious about it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put it there because then this way I can still tape it to the mat and the paper a little bit. Because my template is not completely square on with the paper. I got it kind of a little bit angled a little bit. So this way I can tape down the template and the paper to the mat where I can't find my end of the tape. There, I feel something there. Didn't see it, but I could feel it. Look at this. I was working on something earlier, and so I got that all over me. I thought I kind of had it off, but I guess I didn't. If we have time, I can show you what I was doing. Okay, so I'm just going to take my embossing tool, and it's just going to go in like this. And for me, I like it for one reason if you're using a pencil. Now this one, it seems really thin, the lines, and I don't know if I'm just off today or what, but if you use a pencil with the thin lead, you know, the sharp point, then you have to really kind of stick to the same part of the stencil to get it even. We're using the scoring tool, it's just fitting in there one way, and so it's not making it what's the word I'm trying to think of, where I have to say, okay, I got to stick to the top, and then at some point I'm like, okay, did I stick to the top or whatever? It's where it is. It's not going in a different way. So it's basically going to be in the middle of these lines from the template. And it's working well for me so far. In the other two, it did. I just have to make sure that I make the lines well enough that I can see them. I also don't have to worry about going back and erasing the lines by doing this. Now, it can be hard to see, especially like this white paper. I think, and like I said, this paper is not super thick. If this paper was thicker, it would probably show it better also, but I don't know about I don't know about if it was a different color, if it would show up better or not, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna do these, and this is gonna go here. And, make sure I got that one done. So I've done this. That's the matte layer. So this doesn't need to be done right now. This is a cut line. This is a score line. Score line. Score line. Cut. Cut line. Cut line. Cut line. And score line here. Score line. Cut. 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 Score. I think I might have another idea too, because it can be a little bit confusing. Okay, this is the cut line. This is the score line. With all these mats and layers on these templates, it can make them a little bit confusing sometimes. See, I want to go into this and do something in this, but it doesn't do anything here. So I think I've got them all. You know, what I'm wondering is if we take and kind of block these all out so we know, and so we're not focusing on these other words and stuff that's making it confusing for us, and then we could just see cut line, cut line, cut line, and be there instead. That might help. I don't know. You know, at one time, Crafter's Companion had like this liquid mask. That would be really... See, that's a matte layer. That's not a line. Okay, let me pull this up and see if it looks about right. See, that's where I put in the score for the matte layer. And it looks like... Now the problem is going to be remembering what's a score line and what's a cut line, right? So only keep this close. Where? Scissors. Right here. So I'm going to start by just cutting the rectangle. That's going to be easiest for me. And then I will probably score the score lines. See, some of these lines, I went in real deep with the embossing tool. I went over too much. And it kind of cut them a little bit for me. I'm not getting a good... I don't like these. This pair of scissors is really kind of awkward. I need to really get rid of these, but my other scissors seem to grow legs and walk away. And then these are the only ones here I can find. So, because I've only embossed the line, sometimes it's a little hard to see. But I did, obviously, over embossed it. So this is going to make a little card. That's kind of nice. I guess if you learn how to do it, you can always make it bigger if you wanted to. So I don't see why you couldn't. And I really did think the rocker one turned out really good. Okay, so these inside lines are score lines. These outside lines are cut lines. This is a cut line. These are score lines. Where does the cut line start? Let me look at the picture. Okay, so the cut line starts... I'm not real sure. Oh, it goes this way. Okay. So here, these are the cut lines here. So the best way to do this, I'm thinking, is going to be to go ahead and score wonder why there's no score lines in this. Did I miss the score lines going all the way across? Looks like I did. It looks like I missed the score lines that go all the way across. Let me see if I can get this back on here. Well, you know what I can do? I can take my embossing and, but the score lines, okay, they skip here, but we're cutting that out. So they skip here and then they score straight here. I'm probably better off just folding it instead of trying to score it and then fold it. Line it up. Line up the edges. Line up the edges and score. That's one score line. And this score line will go this way. So I'm going to do the same thing. Basically, it's a trifold. Now, the reason for me I wanted to do the score lines first is because now I can get in here and I can cut. That doesn't make sense. It still does not make sense. So I missed lines here also. There should have been, see, this is why we want to see people do these videos, right? Because now you're seeing where I messed up. Now you know what to remember. That's why I said this has a lot of stuff. And it looked a little bit complicated. And I just want to make sure. I want to get this on here right. So the only part that seems off is right there. Everything else seems see, you never want to wait. That's a score line. That's a score line. See, I missed these outside scores with all that stuff. So, no, these lines I missed, looks like. Which these are cut lines. I got the score lines. I was looking for those cut lines. Okay. So now I should be able to go in and cut without needing to use the just like that. And that starts my cut. And now I should be able to go in with my scissors. I'm going to go ahead and cut the whole length of it right here. I'm going to keep it straight. If you can use a craft knife, then bravo do. I just can't, so I got to find ways around it. And this is a cut line, because we're going to be cutting these shapes out. Right. On this one, let me cut that out. And cut it out here. And I'll do the same thing over here. I want to have it lined up. And hopefully by the time I do these two, that'll take care of that middle portion. We'll see. I'll go ahead and open it just in case. Looks pretty good. So now I just need to snip here a little bit straight and snip it. And you can see that it didn't quite stay straight. So some of us are handicapped for this, you know, like it's a very bad disadvantage for me not to be able to use a craft knife. Makes it a little harder for this stuff. But we find our way and we get there. I hope I'm not confusing everybody. So it is, if you can use a craft knife, you want to cut this out with a craft knife. If you can't, then this is what's working right now for me. So I'm going to come over here and cut this now. And this should take care. But see, if you gotta have the score lines in first, or it's gonna be even harder to get it to work. See how it doesn't quite line up because I'm probably not scored straight. So I'm just gonna straighten it out. And that can end up hurting me. But something might not be right with the card when it's folded up. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. See, you can see it's a little off there. Now I gotta even it out. Straighten it up. Straighten it up. And even it out. There we go. So there's the card. I guess that's it. So it wasn't too bad. For as bad as it looked, it wasn't too bad. Sometimes you just gotta look at the template, look at the picture. Look at the template, look at the picture, look at the tip. Going back and forth and doing that. So that's a good thing about the way they did these separate like this. Makes it really nice. I was hoping to be able to use these, but obviously that's not going to work. Unless I use like the circles, but they're not big enough. So I am going to have to use the templates for the mats and layers. One of these times I won't have to. I'm going to use these. What is, oh, that's a stencil. I'm going to use these Crafters Companions papers that come out of one of the kits. Come out of the last one. Or I don't remember where it came from now. But I know it was a Crafters Companion kit because it's the 9x9. And are there solids in here? Because I would really prefer... No, it doesn't look like there's any solids in here. Some pretty stuff, though. I mean, some pretty paper in here. Like, I think that's really pretty, and that's pretty. So how much do I want to matte layer it? That's the question. Do I want... It always looks better when you add those layers. That's patriotic. I don't... This might be from Your Craft. But that's where it's from. We could do matte layers. Let's see how this will look. I don't think so. No, I think I would need like a more of the green color in there. Let me see. That's not the right green color. What about this? Should go well. That will go well together. I believe anyways. I believe I like those two together. So I'm going to do those two for mattes and layers. Now the question is, which one do I want in the front? Which one do I want in the back? This would be the front of the card. It might be too much. But if I did that, yeah, I think I like that better. Much better. So these are going to be the outside templates. All the outside templates. And I could now come in easier with a pencil because I can use the back, or I can keep doing like I'm doing. Alternative matte layer for the bottom. Boy, this is a little tough for the bottom, or I could just do this and this. This is a long one. Do I want to do a long one? No, I want to do the small one, so I'm going to not do that one. I am doing the back piece now. Yes, the back piece. So I can tape it. I'm not going to worry about taping it. They only gave me one of these. I don't see it smaller anywhere. They only gave me one. I would have to cut down for the other. So what I might want to do is this. Cut here and here and here and here and down all the way. So what I've done is, instead of using this line and these lines, I used the outside lines, and then I did that. That should make not a big border, but it'll give me my larger mat. So I'm basically going to do that in all these corners. So I'm going to come here and do the same thing here on this corner. Let me see if I can put it, line it up. And I'm going to do the inside lines only. And that will give me a larger mat, hopefully. Right? I'm not going to do that because that's giving me that smaller mat. And that's the mat I'm going to want to use on the yellow. And I'm going to do these other corners the same. And I'm making sure best that I can, because I do want to try to get even. And again, just these lines, just these inside lines. But when I do the yellow, I will do the matte the way it is. And that's just giving me a little bit of difference, right? For this one now, I'm going to come over here and do this corner. Because we've got the 4 of them, we need to do 4 of them. And I'm going to, is that lined up? Okay. And just do these lines. But like I said, for the yellow, I will use this whole thing. Okay. And I'm thinking for this one, see, that's going to make this one here pretty tough. So for these, I might just do these. I might not do that part. So I think for these ones, I use this score line, this score line. Oh, these are cut lines. This line, and this line. So this one, I gotta make sure I'm past that cutout. And I could actually go ahead and cut them out. Let me go ahead and cut them out. That way I don't have to worry that I go over it. I suppose I could just do one and then cut all 4 of them out. And this one. Yikes. Okay. So on the card, they're gonna come like that. And that. And that's going to give us our first matte layer. Our first matte layer. Ooh, look, it looks like I'm making a box, don't it? Okay, now I need to do these squares. So I did this one already, and it's right there. So now I need to do this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there and line it up on the corner. And what that's going to help with is, you can see this is where my line went. I don't want to do that one that big. I do not. So I'm just going to go here and here to the cut line. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Line that up. And go here. I suppose I could just go here. I don't know. We'll see. I can always cut it down if I need to. I just wish they made this a little more obvious. Which ones they used for theirs. But then we'd have even more writing on here. And that's the last thing we need for confusion, right? There's even more writing on that. But maybe separate templates would have been nice. For the mats and layers. I mean, I understand why they did it. Because it's blank space, right? So, take up the blank space to give us our mat and layers. Now this one, I came over this way, and did the score line over here, so I made sure I wasn't on the thing, and then I realized, oh, well, if I went ahead and cut that out, I wouldn't have to worry about it. Okay. So now we got these, 4 of these little ones here, and then we need this one, or that. I'm going to say this one, yeah, I'm going to say this one. I don't know how I'm going to do that one bigger. So I'm just going to stick to this one. So to do this one, does that be enough? Nope. Even there, that's not big enough. I can come over here. And actually, look at that. Let me think here, because I need to make sure I have all of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do the large ones of these. See, at least with these ones, they gave us both. And remember, it's always easier to cut down than add. You can't really add to it. So, okay, that's one. And we're going to have 3 of these in this size. There's one. And they're going to be the same, so it doesn't matter which 3 you use. They're all going to be the same. I'm gonna make my line there. No. What did I do? Did I use this small? No. Okay. So this middle one has both the small and these ones only have the large one on it. See how confusing? Okay. So that should give me the large one, right? Yep. Just double check that. Cut. It's going to be a long video and you might be getting tired of it, but I have actually had people ask questions, and so that tells me that there are people that need to know. So that's the reason for me to show all of it. If you know what to do, you know, you can fast forward through whatever you want to do. But for the people that don't know, the people that are new, it can't hurt. So, like I found out, these two outside matte layers that they have in here are the large matte. This also has the large matte on the outside, but this inside one is the smaller matte. So when I go to do yellow paper, I'm going to need to do 3 of these inside ones to have the smaller matte. I still have one more larger matte, and it really doesn't matter which one I do as long as I use the larger one. So I'm gonna, of course I want to save as much paper as possible. So I'm just going to take it in as much as I can. And then do my embossing, and I can hear it kind of ripping the paper. I'm really pushing in, and this paper is really super thin because this is actually just paper. It's not cardstock. Okay. So that's done, and I need to cut that. And I'm just doing this like this because I think it's going to make it less confusing for me to go ahead and cut them out. That way I know what I've got and what I don't have, and just keep things a little straighter, organized in my head what I'm doing. Is there a lot of matte layers to this? You can make up your own matte layers if you want. You can, you know, use the measurements. So these run one a little bit under 3 inches for the whole square. So these are 2.5 inches. If you wanted to work it that way, if you wanted to do, let me show you. something. Let's just say that these are square. I don't know if they are. I'm just going to do it. Let's just say they are square. And I don't want to go through all of this. There's no reason why, see, and that's not square. Otherwise, it would be fine. But you could do something like that, right? If this was real square, it wouldn't be. Let me show you, because I feel like it's... Yeah, see, I need to cut some along here. About half of it. So, now it should be pretty square, and I can show you what it'll do. Mats and layers don't necessarily have to be the shape. You can choose whatever you want, see? If I had that a little bit bigger, you know, then there you go. I mean, it does not have to be what this is. But, where was I now? My third one's cut. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 or 4 of these. 3, 4. 4 of the smaller corners. And now I need 2 of these. I'll easily get them out of this. I wasn't worried about direction of the paper, and I guess I should have. But I wasn't even thinking about the direction. That's kind of a bummer. So this will go here. This will go here. I'm just looking to see if it's going to be an issue. And this will go here. I don't want to go ahead and cut it out of that paper and then find out my direction doesn't line up. This should be a square. It's not. It's a rectangle. See, it's right there. And it won't fit that way. So, let's see how it ends up looking. So, if it's going to be directional, I can have that going that way, that going that way. And it doesn't look like it's going to matter. That one might have to be cut down. It's a little bit big. So, they might have to be cut down. They're a little bit big. I don't think it matters. It looks good to me anyway. So, I'm going to just do a couple of these matte layers. And what I will do... What did I just do with my scoring tool? There it is, over here on the side. What I will do is I'm going to do it a little bit big, but just to here, to here, to this line, and to this line, and hopefully that will make it right. And I'm going to fold. Nope, I guess I'm not going to fold it because it wants to fold right on that line that I just made. So I'm not going to fold. But I am going to cut it here. And here. And I'm going to check and see how that fits. And I like the way that fits. So that's good. So I'm just going to come up here. And do another one just like it. You can measure it. I'm just going to cut along. And cut along. And cut along. It might be a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Because it looks a little rough and I'm going to have to trim it off anyways. Might end up having to get my trimmer out. So there's one. So now I'm going to take these ones because they got to be the same. So I'm going to just trim them the same as that one. And I'm going to trim this one the same as that one. And I want to trim a little bit of their length off. You can take it to the paper trimmer. I'm just doing this way. Just because. For one thing, I'm doing a video on it, and it makes it a little bit quicker to do it this way. Okay. So there's my top. First layer. Now I'm going to do the same thing with these. So that fits good. So I'm going to take this one. Where's my other corner? In my shorter corner piece. Nope, here it is. I'm going to take this one and my two corners, and I guess I'm going to line my corners up. And I'm going to put this one on top of them. Oop, line them up. Be careful that they stay lined up, otherwise we're going to end up with two different sizes anyway. So I'm going to hold them good, and I'm going to trim them same size as that. And then I'm going to take a little bit off this side, a little bit off of this side. You might want to know why I'm doing it both sides, because they were nice cut. So that works for me. Now I got to do my yellow layers. How long is this? Wow, an hour. Okay. My other yellow layers will be easier because they're going to all be the small layers, the sizes that are already there. So this will go here. This will go here. This will go here. And this will go there. And now, I'm wondering if I should go ahead and glue them down. Okay. No, I'm just going to go ahead and make my mats and layers. And like I said, With this time, it'll be easier because this time I'm just going to use the sizes that are there. So I'll put that there in that corner and go here. Man, I think these papers look really good together. I'm hoping. And I'm going to put this one right here. So much easier when you have dies to use for this stuff. And this one's going to go here. And this one's going to go here. Okay, then I want this matte layer. But what I probably want to do is bring it over because I don't want to waste paper. So there's that. So take this here. I might as well go ahead and do that one. Now I don't know if I can get that small one in there. Yep. Looks like I can. Just gotta make sure. Maybe I can't. I should be able to get right in the middle. So there. So that should be able to go right there. Okay, did I get them all in? Yep. So that's all of these on this side. And so over here, I'm going to go ahead and put all of these on this side. So I have, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it. This is going to be a really long video. And then break this one over a little bit. Now, this is not the one I'm using. Remember, I'm using this one. So I need to flip this over and get this one in between those. Just like I did over there on that side. Okay, so that's all of those. Now all I gotta do is these inside. Right here. Is that an octagon? 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not counting right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octagon. Octagon meaning there's 8, right? Octagon is 8. Nope, wrong one, right? That was the big one. That one has the big one. And I want the little one. And the only one with the little one is the one in the middle. I hope this is helping somebody figure out your mats and layers and stuff. So there's the small one. And really, this is going to be easy to get on this sheet of paper. Okay, there's 2. And 3. And that should give me all my mats and layers now. I don't usually do my videos this long. And my phone may decide that it's heady enough. And it might cut out, and then I'll have to do edit. Not good. So I'm just going to go ahead. So I'm going to mat layer, and I'm not going to decorate this card. I'm just going to get the mat layers down. And that will be that. I think it'll be cute. I think the mat layers are going to be cute. Another thing to remember is there are spaces in these lines where the line's not complete. You have to complete that line, and the reason it's not is they've got to keep that template together. And if they didn't do it that way, then everything would fall out, right? So don't forget and think, oh, why is that? Or make your turn because that line ended and you're cutting it wrong. Okay. And then I'm going to get over here. See, this other layer is so much easier because we don't have to figure out the larger layers. I knew this was going to be a little bit harder for me, but we are going to probably get harder than this at some point, I'm thinking, with these templates. It really isn't that difficult once you figure out what it is you're doing, but that's why you got to look at those pictures, because it clarifies it a lot. So make sure you have both out If you don't know if you know what you're doing, then of course you don't need it. And a lot of people do know. A lot of people have done this stuff. But a lot of people haven't, and they don't know. So for the ones that don't know, use both at the same time. Look at one, look at the other. If you don't know something, you're not sure about something. Look at one, look at the other. I'm just trying to speed this up. I'm trying to cut this really quick. I would think somewhere I must be missing where they're putting the larger layers. Somehow I gotta be missing that. So if this is my first one you've been watching, I'm gonna go through the whole book. I'm gonna do every one of them. Just 2 or 3 a week. And just work the way through. So this is the third one I'm done. I started with one. I'm gonna work all the way through. And I think by the time I get the other one, I'll be done with this one easy. So we should be anyways. The rocker card the other day turned out so cute. I was so happy with it. And I didn't think it did at first. I was like, But it actually did turn out pretty cute. Okay, now it's just a matter of gluing it down, right? Let's see how I did. And I'm just going to do a quick job getting them down so that we can get through this video, because this video is long now. I like that paper. I don't know why, but the more I look at it, the more I like it. It seems kind of loud, but I think that yellow is going to tone it down really nice. And I want to get it in even, but it's got to line up with this other one also, kind of, that's a basic. And I'm trying to go fast, so maybe it won't be perfect. But okay, I'll do these corner pieces. And just kind of get those in the best I can quickly. Normally I would bring in the other layer, put it on top and look at it and kind of judge everything from there, but since we are trying to be quick, I'm just going to glue it down without even looking first. This video is over an hour long. That's so long for me. I try to stick around 30 to 40 minutes. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm having trouble lately, is that I'm so worried about making the videos too long for everybody, and I think I've just told myself that I don't need to worry about that. If it's too long, you can skip through to where you want to see. this is definitely a long video. This is one I'd be like, oh, are you kidding me? An hour? And I'm not going to edit because how do I know what somebody needs and doesn't need to see? So you're like, oh, well, you just cut it out. Well, yeah, I just cut it out, but I had to cut around this thing and that thing. And how do I know who knows that and don't know that? And I don't know. And I always say that I don't edit. I don't want anybody to question. If I, look at that, that's not straight at all. Shoot. I ripped that paper, but you know what, I'm just going to glue it back down anyways. Because I got to get this video done. Should have left it. I should have left it. Oh well. Hey, the paper's so thin you can't even tell that layer's there, so that worked. Okay.